Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. Sorry I missed yesterday's episode. I've been on it, putting out videos. It's just been a wild week, y'all. Had a sick baby. I got sick. Been a hectic week. Y'all bear with me. I'm here today. If y'all'd say a prayer for my baby, I'd appreciate it. We got week 13 predictions, y'all. We got the Cartel funding one school's N.I.L program. Crazy stuff going on in college football, y'all. We've also got Coach Prime telling Colorado fans he's the guy. We'll talk about that. The Vols have a big one, y'all. We got to go down to the swamp, get a win, keep that tiny little bit of playoff hopes alive. We got a good week, y'all. Before we get into it, do that YouTube stuff for me. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up. Get in that comment section. Let's get into it. It's enough rambling on. A lot of schools are playing Chattanooga School of the Blind this week. But there's still some good games, so we're going to cover those. First one we're going to go over, y'all. Missouri traveling to Norman. The spread on this game is 7.5. Oklahoma's favored by 64-36 in the FPI, y'all. Call me crazy. Oklahoma's coming off 2 big wins on the road. They're going back home. I think Missouri will go into Norman, get the upset win. Oklahoma's riding high. They've had 2 games basically handed to them, y'all. Yes, I know they made the plays. Yes, they did all that. They've had 2 games where 2 teams did things out of character to hand them wins. Did they take it? Absolutely. Aguilar, terrible turnovers against them. Cost us the game. Ty Simpson, who's protected the ball all year long, turned the ball over, I think, 3 times. Set Oklahoma up in really good field position. Oklahoma gets the win. I think Missouri goes into Oklahoma, runs the football, protects the football, shuts down Oklahoma's offense, leaves Norman with the win. So that's one of our upset picks for the week, y'all. Y'all know I give you best bets, upsets, do the predictions. Do y'all think Missouri can upset Oklahoma this Saturday? I just have a feeling. Maybe it's me being hopeful. Maybe it's me going with my heart over my brain. I just got a feeling we're going to have some chaos this weekend, y'all. And it's going to start with Missouri going into Oklahoma, 12 noon, starting the day off with the big upset. We got the big game of the week on the national stage. You got USC traveling up to Oregon. Oregon not getting much respect by the committee, y'all. They haven't played that great of a schedule, even though the committee said they're giving Oregon credit for that Penn State win still. Even though Penn State's fell off the map, but then you got other teams that beat a team that's supposed to be good. They fell off. They don't get credit for it. Oregon's favored by 10.5 points in this game, y'all. FPI locks them about 72%. I think them 10.5 points are a lot of points, y'all. Oregon is a good football team. USC is a good football team. I've seen nothing out of Oregon that tells me they're a great football team. That they should be favored by 10.5 over USC. USC's been playing good ball, y'all. They're still probably a year or so away from being an actual national title contender. With it being at Oregon, I do think Oregon wins. But one of my best bets this week is USC to cover at 10.5. I got a feeling that spread could drop, y'all. So if you like that 10.5, I'd jump on it today because it could go down to 9.5 tomorrow. That 10.5, that's a good bet. That's a touchdown and a field goal, y'all. It gets down to that 9.5. Oregon wins by 10, you lose. So my best bet of the week is USC to cover that 10.5 points. I think that's a lot of points. USC's been a pretty good football team. Oregon's been pretty good, but Oregon hasn't stood out this year. The one ranked team they played this year, they lost to in Indiana. They avoided Ohio State. They've avoided Michigan. They got USC. I do think they win, but I like USC to cover, y'all. We got Vandy 8-2 with Kentucky traveling into town. Kentucky is one of the most improved teams throughout the season. Kentucky's played really tight with some really good teams. They've got a couple of wins. They beat the dog shit out of Florida, 38-7. They had Texas beat. They had double the yards Texas had. They just couldn't get points. Texas escapes in overtime. They played within one score of Ole Miss. Tennessee beats them by 22. They turn around, get a win against Auburn, knock Hugh Freeze out of a job. Vandy's sitting at 8-2, trying to have a historical season. They haven't had a 10-win season in Lord knows how long. They're favored by 8.5. FPI likes them about 77-23, right in that range. I think Pavia, Vandy, being at home, will cover that 8.5 points. I think they win this game by about 10, so they don't cover it by much. And Mark Stoops needs to be getting a little more credit from Kentucky fans. They was all ready to fire him. I get it. He's had some down years. But he's still got a chance to make a bowl game after an absolutely terrible start. And Kentucky's spending all their NIL, all their revenue sharing. It's all going to basketball, y'all. They've already lost 2 games in basketball this year after spending $22 million on a roster. Mark Stoops is right there in bowl rank. If they keep Cutter Boley, Kentucky could be a dangerous team next year. They're obviously not going to be a national title contender. But Cutter Boley has showed flashes of being really, really good quarterback. He's a 5-star quarterback before he reclassified. I just think Vandy's playing for the playoffs. They're still on the outside looking in, but they can still get in. Think they handle business against Kentucky, cover that spread, y'all, setting up a game against Tennessee the following Saturday with a chance to make playoffs. Who would have thought that coming into the season? Besides Pavia. Everybody thought Pavia was crazy talking that shit. Yeah, here they are. 2 Saturdays left with the chance to finish 10-2 and be a playoff team. Arkansas travels down to Austin, Texas, y'all. Texas is favored by 8.5 points. The FPI likes them. Likes them a lot. About 83%. There's a lot of talk going on down there, though. Steve Sarkisian possibly wanting to go to the NFL. Possibly having a mutual parting of ways. Sark's come out and said that's a lie. The athletic director come out and said that's news to him. But what else are they supposed to say? When you're sitting there in the middle of a season, you can't say, oh, yeah, I'm definitely wanting to go to the NFL. You got to say, oh, no, I'm locked in with Texas because Texas still has an outside chance of making the playoffs, too. Because if they can beat Arkansas, turn around, beat Texas A&M next week, that could be enough to push them back in. Now, should Texas be at 17? Absolutely not. Not after a 35-10 loss to Georgia. They got a loss to 3-7 Florida as well. I like Arkansas to cover in this game, y'all. That's going to be one of my best bets, too. I like Arkansas to cover that 8.5. Do I think Arkansas pulls off the upset? Not necessarily. But Arkansas in conference, y'all, has had one possession losses all over the place. Literally, almost all their losses are one possession games. All it takes for Taylor Green to be hot, and they could go down to Texas and get an upset. With all the distractions in Texas right now, they just got knocked out of the playoffs more than likely. There's a bunch of rumors about their coach. Arkansas, all Arkansas has to play for is to ruin somebody's season. I think they cover that 8.5. I don't necessarily think they pull the upset, but I do think they can. So take Arkansas plus the 8.5, y'all. I think Texas squeaks this win out from anywhere from 3 to 7 points. It'll be a one-score game. Arkansas just don't know how to win, y'all. They keep themselves in games, but they always find a way to lose. A lot of programs go through that for a while. Arkansas probably has a few more years ahead over that until they get the right coach in place. Nebraska done that crap for years, y'all. I mean, years. Let's travel out to Utah, y'all. You got Kansas State going up to Utah. This is the best bet. Kansas State's getting 17.5 points, y'all. The FBI loves Utah about 89%. I don't think it's going to be as easy of a game for Utah as Vegas and everybody else does. Yes, Kansas State struggled this year. They haven't lived up to expectations. Yet Avery Johnson's still quietly having a really good year. I love Kansas State covering in this game. So add that to the best bet, Turner. 17.5 is just too much points. Utah's getting way too much love from the College Football Playoff Committee, too, by the way. They're ranked way too high. To be a 2-loss Big 12 team, you should not be ranked 12th in the country. Especially when you got a 33-point splattering or 32-point splattering at home on your resume. Texas Tech beat them 42-10 at home. I know Texas Tech's good. But you lose by 32 points at home and you have another loss to BYU, you should not be ranked 12th in the country in the Big 12. There's no way. Kansas State could make this game really close. Could be an upset alert special on the bottom of the ticker on the ESPN app, ESPN screen. I don't think they can quite pull the upset, but I do think that this will be a closer game than that spread. Way closer. Talking like 4 to 7 points close. Kansas State is a prideful team. They're a physical team. There's not many physical teams in the Big 12. So I think they match up really well with Utah. Like I said, I don't think they pull the upset. But I think they cover that 17.5 points rather easily. Utah's getting way too much love right now. Michigan travels to Maryland. Michigan coming off of a damn nail biter against Northwestern. They turned the ball over 5 times. Northwestern turned the ball over 0 times. They still found a way to win. Last second field goal. The spread in this game is 13.5 points, y'all. Michigan's favored by like 82% by the FPI. Maryland has the better quarterback in this game. Bryce Underwood was hyped up so much, y'all, that he could have never lived up to the expectations. He's still got a long way to go as a passer. Is the coaching part of the problem? Possibly. I'm still not sold on Sharon Moore. Mike Locksley has a really tough job at Maryland. I'm not sure they're as invested in football as they should be. Malik Washington's had a hell of a freshman year. I like Michigan to win this game. Hopefully they're not looking ahead to Ohio State. If they are, this game could be a wire-to-wire game. Maryland was riding pretty high at the beginning of the year. They got to 4 wins pretty quick, and they've been on a slide since. They've had some close losses. At 13.5 points is a lot of points for Michigan. Michigan's not covering many spreads this year. I'm not sure the actual record against spread, but I know every week it seems like Michigan's not covering the spread. Just based off of that, I'm going to take Maryland to cover. My buddy Jason, if you're watching, I know you're going to the game. Hopefully your team gets you a win. Y'all go to Ohio State with the chance of getting the playoffs on the line. I like Maryland to cover, Michigan to win, y'all. We got TCU heading to Houston. This is how crazy the Big 12 is. Houston's 8-2. Played Texas Tech better than Utah did. But yet they're sitting all the way down at what? 23? 24? And Utah, for whatever reasons, at 12. There's definitely some brand bias going on in the playoff rankings, y'all. TCU's favored in this game by the FPI. Vegas thinks it's basically a pick-'em game. Houston's favored by 1.5 points. Think that's going to be a hell of a game, y'all. Obviously, it has no big game implications. But if you're just college football crazy, that'll be a fun game to watch. I think Houston pulls a close one out just because they're at home. If this was at TCU, I'd probably take TCU. TCU started off hot this year, y'all. They're struggling down the stretch. They got 6 wins. I think they were 6-1, 6-2. Now they're 6-4. They're riding a losing streak. Houston, second year under Willie Fritz. I can't believe he's not being talked about a little more for some of these job openings. And he's got the 24/7 updated their rankings. Their quarterback commits #1 in the country. Tennessee, Faison Brandon, #2. So Houston has a really good quarterback coming in next year too. Willie Fritz could build something nice at Houston if they're willing to invest in N.I.L. In the state of Texas, there's plenty of talent. You're in the Big 12, one of the weaker Power 4 conferences. Texas Tech, y'all could take that conference over if you invest right. But give me Houston to win, go to 9-2. Willie Fritz done a hell of a job turning that Houston program around in his second year. Last year, I think they 4 or 5 games. This year, they got a chance to win 10. Willie Fritz came from Tulane with the Houston. Summerall took over Tulane. Now Summerall's getting calls for Florida, but he cancels his meeting because it went public and he didn't like it. Woo, 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 woo. Upset alert. Upset alert. You got Georgia Tech favored by 2.5 points against Pitt. This game is at Georgia Tech. The FPI likes Georgia Tech, 57%. I love Pitt in this game. Pitt just got their ass whooped by Notre Dame. Georgia Tech scrapes by against 1-win Boston College in a game they should have lost, yet they scraped by once again. Pitt's probably the best team Georgia Tech's played this year since Clemson. Georgia Tech had the easiest schedule you could possibly imagine. Everything worked out perfect for them. I think Pitt has had this game circled. They didn't even care about beating Notre Dame last week, but they want this one. And Georgia Tech's just been scraping by, letting Haynes King do everything to get them wins. Pitt goes into Georgia Tech, ruins Georgia Tech's season. Georgia Tech plays Georgia next week. That could be 2 losses in a row for Georgia Tech. If Georgia Tech loses this one, their season's done. It still could be done because their strength of schedule is so terrible. They got 1 loss and they're ranked 16th in the country. I don't think it's going to matter. I think Pitt beats them today. They probably lose to Georgia next week. Been a good season for them. Tennessee gets to play them to start the year next year. Y'all, we're getting to the game I know y'all are all waiting on. We got one more before we get to it. We got BYU heading on the road to Cincinnati, Ohio. BYU is favored by 2.5 points. The FPI likes them even more. The FPI likes them about 68%. I'm not sold on Barry Bachmeier. BYU, if you can force them to pass the ball, you can beat them. Cincinnati, I like Sorsby better than Bachmeier. Now, I like BYU's coach more than I like Satterfield. Usually when the game's close like this, I try to think whose coach I like better, whose quarterback I like better. I like Cincinnati's quarterback better, BYU's coach better. After I go through that process, who's the home team? Cincinnati's the home team. So add another upset to the list. Give me Cincinnati ruining BYU's season. I'm telling y'all, this is the weekend that the chaos happens. We got this weekend, next week, there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's a lot of teams feeling good about themselves. There's a lot of teams that's depth's not quite where it was. This is where upsets start happening even more. You've also got teams that are trying to ruin team seasons. That's coming out and giving it every damn ounce of sweat and blood they got to ruin somebody's season. It's that time of year. So I'm taking Cincinnati in the upset over BYU. And last, but certainly not least, y'all, we got the Tennessee Vols heading down to the swamp. Can the Vols go drain the swamp? It's been since 2003, 22, 23 long, miserable ass years of getting fired up about going down to the swamp and getting a W. We came close. We got our ass whooped. We've had absolutely heartbreakers. You got Florida's player guaranteeing the win, saying history's going to repeat itself. Florida don't lose to Tennessee at home. Guaranteed. You got the Vols favored by 4.5 points. FPI likes them about 65% to 35%. You got Aguilar, just a low-down JUCO community college quarterback going up against the #1 quarterback in his class, DJ Lagway. History's against my Vols. Can they go down to the swamp and give the dirty swamp lizards a reptile dysfunction? Can we cause them a reptile dysfunction down in the swamp this year? I think it's going to be close. If I know anything about this rivalry, it'll take about a half a miracle for Tennessee to win this game comfortably. It's just one of those rivalry games that don't matter. It seems to always be close. I'm torn on where I'm going to go, y'all. I really am. My heart's telling me the Vols. My mind's telling me the Vols. History's telling me the Gators. So where do I go? Give me good old Rocky Top, y'all. The Vols go down to the swamp, get the win. knock off the dirty damn Gators for the first time since 2003 in the swamp, setting up a match against Vandy with the slimmest damn chance at the playoffs still on the line to finish 9-3. If at worst case we beat Florida, we can ruin Vandy's playoff hopes, ruin their best season they've had in freaking probably 100 years. I'm fired up. I'm ready. Can't wait till 7:30 Friday night. Let's go, baby. That's the prediction segment of this game. I'm sure the people in the rest of the house are tired of hearing me. We got two more things to talk about, y'all. We got the Cartel funding UTEP's N.I.L program, y'all. FBI investigators reveal UTEP has been receiving NIL donations from the Juarez Cartel to support athletic programs. University officials claim they had absolutely no idea, y'all, that was the source of where the funds were coming from. If they knew, they would have rejected it. Y'all think they really didn't know where that money was coming from? How do you not know where the money's coming from? You're just getting random donations of probably millions of dollars to your school, and you don't wonder, where's this money coming from? Oh, it don't matter. Somebody's being generous, so we'll just take it. No questions asked. Give me a freaking break. Wonder what can come out of that, y'all. I about guarantee you one thing. All that NIL money is about to be taken. UTEP's about to be screwed. Not that they're in great shape right now anyway. But I don't think the NCAA and the government is going to like that. How do you get in a situation where you're taking NIL money from the cartel? That's absolutely crazy, y'all. I'm ready. I'm anxious to hear more about this story. We'll talk about it when we know. I thought that was just absolutely insane when I seen that. That's college football, y'all. Win at all costs, even if it's taking money from the damn cartel to buy players. It's absolutely insane, y'all. What do y'all think about it? Y'all think it's as crazy as I do? Or y'all think that's just another day in college football? Win at all costs. I've heard some stories. I've heard some crazy shit. But taking money from the cartel to buy players is up there with some of the craziest shit I ever heard, y'all. Last thing we're going to cover, and we'll get out of here, y'all. Coach Prime. I've speculated that he'd hang it up after this year. All the health problems he's had, all that. I figured he'd just say, hey, I got my kids raised. I got one to the NFL. One got a chance at the NFL. Coach Travis Hunter gave Colorado one good year. I'm going to go home, relax, try to get my health in shape, enjoy my life. Well, I was wrong. He said, you got the right guy. Just give me an opportunity and a little more time. And I'm going to prove that to you. Deion wants more time to prove that he's the right man for the job, despite the team's struggles this season. If Deion would change his approach, he could be the right guy. But the way he does it, it's just not going to work to build it consistently every single year. He puts absolutely no effort into high school recruiting. He gets a few guys out of high school. He thinks he's too good to go do in-home visits. He's Deion, Coach Prime Sanders. You got to come to him. He don't do in-home visits. Well, you know that rubs a lot of parents the wrong way. You're trying to get their kid. They're trusting you with their kid for the next 3-4 years, possibly. To mold them into men, get them to the NFL, whatever it may be. And you think you're too good to go visit at their house and sit and talk to their parents. Their parents have to come to you. Well, a lot of these kids and their parents are not financially stable enough to spend all that money to go sit and talk to you. You're funded by a program and NIL and money that you could go to them easily. So that's where his first approach is wrong, is that he doesn't care about high school recruitment. He literally said he wants to build his team of 20% high school guys. And then so much JUCO, so much transfer portal. You cannot build a consistent winner by having that much roster turnover every single year. You're bringing in guys that are there for 1, 2 years, and then they're gone, and you replace them, constantly replace them. You can't bring in 30, 40 guys a season and expect to win at a high level. Look at Florida State. They've had a couple of good seasons. The rest of them's not been good because you can't build continuity. You can't build a good culture. You can't build it the right way by doing it that way. If you notice, most of the top teams in the country build it from high school and then add players from the portal to fill holes that they may have missed on in recruiting, or the guy they thought was going to be good they brought in recruiting hasn't developed yet, so they bring the guy or two in to bridge that gap. You can't build your whole roster off of JUCO and portal guys. You just can't. It's been proven time and time again. If you want to build a year to year contender, it starts at the high school level. You've got to bring in enough high school players to set the foundation, have them there for 2, 3 years at least. That way your culture is always safe. Those guys can hold other guys accountable at practice. Make sure your culture is where it's supposed to be. So what happened with Tennessee and Boo Carter? We've got that nucleus, that core. Boo wasn't living up to the culture. We finally just said, screw it, hit the road, Jack. Colorado will never have that. So unless Dion changes his ways and starts putting more effort into high school recruiting, Colorado will be an up and down program. They might have a year where they win 8, 9 games. Then the next year they can turn around and go 3-9, 4-8, just like they're doing right now. Coach Brown come in too brash, too cocky, feeling himself too much, thinking that he was such a big name that players would just want to flock to Colorado to play for him because he's Coach Brown. And he's been humbled a little bit. Can he look in the mirror, take a different approach, and really try to build that program? Or is he going to keep thinking, I'm Coach Prime, you come play for me or you don't, I don't care? We'll see, y'all. That's the show for today. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Especially if you're a Vol fan. You want to end this damn streak of losses in the swamp. Subscribe to the channel. Give the Vols some good juju. I'm fired up. I'm ready. I just got the feeling in my soul, y'all, that the streak is over. It's over. We're going to go down to the swamp. We're finally going to shut them gators up, and we're going to start a streak down there. Just like we started a streak at home. It's time to flip the series back. We dominated it. Then Florida dominated it. It's time for us to dominate it again. I appreciate all y'all tuning in. Sorry it's been a hectic week. I didn't get the videos on to you on the days I usually do. Should be back on track next week. Thank y'all so much. God bless you. Go Vols. Beat the Gators. Give them a reptile dysfunction. Y'all have a great weekend.